everyone. Welcome to another insightful episode of Expert Edge series. And this is episode 5, where I bring you insights from the most inspiring and accomplished professionals across various fields. But my personal favorite is mindset transformation. And today I have immense honor of hosting a true powerhouse of knowledge and experience. Now, Colonel Aditya Singhal is not just a tankman and veteran who served our nation with bravery, but also a mind hacker, inner transformation and mindset shift coach and mentor. To top it all, he is the author of transformative book, Fearful to Fearless, How to Conquer Our Inner Demons, Internal and External Fears. Now, just to add to this, Colonel has dedicated his life to helping others break free from their mental shackles and step into their true potential. Today, we're going to uncover the secrets behind his journey, his methodologies, and how we can overcome our fears to achieve greatness. So, Colonel, it's my pleasure that you are here. Thank you so much for joining me today. Now,
Thank you, Jyoti. Thank you very much.
before I start with my questionnaire, I just want you to share a bit about your journey from serving the Indian Army to becoming a mindset and career coach.
Okay, thank you very much, Jyoti. First of all, thank you for inviting me on your channel and giving me a opportunity to connect with the people who are waiting out there for people like you and me. And so this is a great platform to be on. As far as my journey is concerned, like any other person, if I start with a little bit about the beginning, I was an average student in my school and college. Just about to manage to pass, and because there were no other options available, so I took science. And in the 11th, 12th, incidentally, I was for the first batch of 10 plus 2 way back in 77. And then when I joined college after passing my 12 boards, so we got a opportunity to join second year directly because those days it was only 11th and then 3 years of graduation. So we got that bonus of 1 year, which if people were envying, how can you go directly into second year? However, that also taught me some very important life lessons because from school to college, because when we went there, so school, everything was told to you, you were guided and tutored by hand. But in college, you were left on your own. You attend your classes and then study on your own. So it was I would say, great change for me of environment. And as a result, what happened is I struggled with my studies and I failed my exams in the second year. And so it was a big shocker for me, my family, and my parents. And it was also you can say, a sense of shame those days because taking tuition was supposed to be looked down upon. And so if you are taking tuition, that means you are a duffer in studies. But there was no choice. I had to repeat the second year. So I, along with my best friend, we both failed incidentally. So this was another thing. So both of us took tuitions and in maths and physics and even chemistry because I could not, remember everything. That was the biggest challenge for me, especially the formulas in chemistry and physics. But anyway, we tried again and we took the tuition route and appeared again and we failed again. So both of us. And so then it was a big shock and wake up call for everybody. And till that everybody, like even my parents, were in a denial mode that no, you study on your own, you're not working enough hard work and all those things. But then there somebody suggested that maybe I am not meant for science, so maybe we should go and take some expert advice. But those days, like today, you have counselors and career guidance available readily available. That time, nothing was there. So there was one lady in the University of Rajasthan, Jaipur, and we went to her. She made me go through these psychometric tests and aptitude tests and everything. And in the end, she said, "Science is not your cup of tea. You can either take arts or commerce." So again, arts was not meant for. I did not want to take arts, so we decided to go in for commerce. I managed to get admission in again in second year in commerce, and I passed. And I got a first division. So it was a
Wow.
big booster for me. Anyway, so that was one of the part of my struggle, and finally I was able to finish my graduation. After graduation, again, we were standing at a crossroad. My father wanted me to do chartered accountancy. And I did not want to do that. I said, if there involves a lot of study, then I'm not meant for studies. So, luckily, those days, one of my uncles, he was in Navy, and he said, why don't you do a course in computer programming? So it was a totally different field, and he said there's lots of scope. So I went with him to Delhi, joined NIIT, and joined a course, certification course in programming in basic. Completed that, got a decent grade, then got a job also with a person, which again through my father's contact, and I worked with them for 8 months without any salary. But it was a good experience in that kind, that it was like a on the job training. I learned a lot, and in the meanwhile, I was started preparing for my joining the armed forces, because my uncle said, "Okay, this is one profession wherein once you get in, you have job security, you have a sense of honor and dedication and respect." And yeah, then you don't have to worry about too much, and studies also is okay. So I tried that also. I was able to clear the written exam, but I was not able to clear the SSB for the first time. So again, tried again, took some guidance. Second time again missed, and third time finally I got third time lucky and cleared my SSB. So it took me almost about four. So I worked for 2 years while I was doing this, and finally I joined the academy in 1983, 86. So, and in the academy, again, we went through the rigmarole of training and physical strengthening and everything, and it actually changed my life. And from there on, that is how I joined the armed forces, and I joined the armored corps, which was supposed to be the elite corps in the Indian Army. Cavalry is that is how I became a tankman. And so it had been an amazing journey for 33 years thereafter. I had lots of ups and downs during this journey, both professionally and in my personal life. And also got a chance to serve in different environment of J&K, deserts, high altitude, on the line of control, commanding posts and everything. And finally, I hung up my uniform in September 2020 after completing 33 years of service, because you have an age limit for each rank till when you can serve in the
So,
army. So for a colonel, it was 54 years. So that is how when I attained the age, so I superannuated. And so again, there was a little bit of, what you can transformational experience for me, because we were all struggling with the effects of COVID in 2019, and or rather 2020. And so we was just with the first wave had got over, second wave has started, and so obviously there were no jobs. People were losing out on their jobs. Their companies were working from a different environment. People were struggling to cope up with the effect. So I knew that I don't want to go in for a 9 to 5 job. And but I also knew that what I can do with my experience in the army is I can guide and mentor the youngsters, especially from the rural areas, who want to join the armed forces, but they don't have the wherewithal, they don't have the money to join the coaching classes. So this is where I can contribute, and this is how my interest generated in the coaching and mentoring. And in that process, I did a couple of training courses, programs, workshops, everything online. And then I came across this gentleman called
fine
Mr.
hacker.
Arfin Khan, the mind hacker. And so I attended his 5 week online training program. And that is where I realized that this is what is meant for, what I am meant for. This is something which actually generated my interest. And by that time, we realized that, we were at that stage that do what you love and love what you do. So I
Mhm.
said, this is something which I can really like, and also the system was great and everything was, and you had the support and you had the
Mm.
community of
Mastermind.
coaches who were there, mastermind who were supporting and pulling, pushing each other towards excellence. And that
Mhm.
is how I ventured in this journey. I got certified in August, not August, June 2020. And uh, Also, while I was doing that, I got a chance to do another course on book writing,
Mm.
which was conducted by Mr. Irfan Nurani, who's known as the clarity man in our community. And I
Mhm.
did that book writing course, and that is how I also became an author because Arfin used to say, tell us that your book is your visiting card.
Mhm.
And once it also gives you authority and authenticity, credibility, everything. So that is how I became a author. And it's been 4 years now. I've been part of this community for 4 years, and in this process, I have been able to transform thousands of lives directly or indirectly. I've also collaborated with coaches like you, and we have done some amazing transformations among us as well as in our clients. So this
Mhm.
is what I can say about myself in
Thanks
short.
a lot. Thanks a lot, Colonel Aditya, for that beautiful just showing us the transition that even after failing and failing twice or thrice in your life, you got the courage to rise up above all the odds, and that's how you served in the army for long 33 years. That's not a small time. So, one thing that I learned from here is whenever you are serving army, you are so disciplined, you are so humble. Humbleness comes automatically, and that's what
Yeah,
I always have noticed in you whenever I talk to you. But right now in this conversation, that was okay, fine, anyways, I got promoted anyways. So when we say that, don't take your success to your head. That's
head.
what
Yeah.
will make you humble. So thank you so much. And I was about to ask you what is the transition, how the transition happened. So you already answered that question. So thank you for the same. Now, for our audience, I want to ask you something which audience can relate to. So what do you think? What are the some common internal or external fears that people face, and how they can begin to overcome them?
So Jyoti, the most common internal fear which most of us face is that what if things don't go the way I want them to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Or also at times we call that fear of failure. Many times we don't take that one step forward that if it doesn't work, then what will happen? So as a result, many times when there's a requirement, the opportunity is standing in front of us, but we are still not ready to take that one step forward because we have that fear that if it does not work out, then what will happen?
Mm-hmm.
And one more thing I realized was that we most of us are also conditioned from our childhood in a manner wherein we try to avoid risk. There,
Mm-hmm.
there, there are two. But I realized there were two reasons. One is your personality, the way your personality is formulated in your growing years. Second is also you see in your family and environment how your parents or your people around you are uh, taking risks or not taking risks or avoiding taking risks. And the
Mm-hmm.
risk is not only in terms of showing bravery in front of adversity, but also in terms of taking risks to change your circumstances, like taking financial risks for that matter. Because
Mm-hmm.
if I put in my money in something and it doesn't succeed, I lose all my money. I'll be bankrupt. I'll be on the road. So many times, a lot of people do not take the risk which when it is required. So that I think is one of the biggest fear most of us face, and uh, that is where the failures also help us. Like in my case, if I talk about my experience of failure, like I have failed so many times, but
Mm-hmm.
one thing which stood me was that yes. I did get a support at times directly, at times indirectly, at times due to well, even though the kind of support I was looking for, I may not have got the same thing, but some kind of support, and also because of my own internal resilience and determination. That
Mm-hmm.
yes, I have to, because when you what I realized was that when you fail again and again, at times people start questioning you, start making jokes about you, and they say कि ये तुम तो कुछ कर ही नहीं सकते, you're a failure, you're a doomed, you're so that in times is comes like a wake up call, and it more makes you more resolute that I have to prove these people wrong. And when
Mm-hmm.
you come with that, say that, so acha, you said that I will not succeed. I'll show you how I succeed, and
Mm-hmm.
that is something which worked for me
Mm-hmm.
many times. And this is again depends upon a personality, as you and I have learned over during our coaching phase, that how people are coded and how they are conditioned in their mind. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, the what happens is the fears are not real; they are only in our mind, in our thought process. They are not real fears, but for us, they are a fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that is something which I learned through experience and learned through interaction with people, that fear of failure is the biggest fear that people face, and that many a times stops them to from succeeding. And on the other hand, you also have seen some small time people also, like who have nothing,
Mm-hmm.
who's rise from scratch, and they make a life for themselves. For here, to my mind comes the name of Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani.
Mm-hmm.
Because we while I was put here in Pune in a training institution, we got a chance to visit his Reliance Industries in near Mumbai. And there they told her us his story as to how he started as a small time trader. Then he started creating yarn, creating polyester. And every time he realized that something is required to grow, he said, okay, instead of depending on someone else, I'll create it on my own. So he started his petrochemicals, he started his shipping industry, he started his infrastructure. He built his own township in Jamnagar and Rajkot. We have stories of people like him. We have the story of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who's known as the rocket man of India. A very humble background, very humble person. I incidentally I got a chance to interact with him when he was the president, and he had visited our regiment in Batinda for our Senate presentation. So very simple man he and but he was such a big motivation for everybody. So this is what I have experienced, Jyoti, when it comes to fears, or how to overcome them, and how we can learn from others.
That's really incredible, Colonel Aditya, because I'll tell you, you have taken the name of Rocket Man, you have taken the name of Clarity Man. What I can see in you is a fearless person, fearless man. So, and your book also denotes the same, Fearful to Fearless. And that book has been transformative for many people that I know, and I myself have read the book that motivates us to be fearless, to just fly. So, can you share a particular impactful story or an instance from your life or case study that you have come across regarding power of overcoming fear so that audience can learn from that?
So, Jyoti, one incident which comes to my mind is one was the thing which I experienced initially was when I failed in my graduation. So there could have been two things. One could have been that you realize that you start believing in that you are a failure and you can't do anything, and you could then continue with the way that is. Other was what worked for me was I took it as a challenge, because uh, whenever there was any interaction within the family and with my younger brothers, or so, people would say, "What are you talking about? You have no authority, or you don't have any this thing to say. You are a failure." And that is what provoked me and made me angry, or like made me resolute to prove them wrong and do something in life and so become independent. The main thing was that I wanted to become independent, stand on my own feet, not depend upon my father once I have finished my graduation. So the moment I got my first chance, I got a job outside and move away, and I was on my own. And even though so that was another story wherein I was just earning about 500 rupees per month as my first salary. And out of that 500, 250 bucks used to go for my room rent where I was staying in a YMCA hostel in Chandigarh. I had only 250 bucks to survive the rest of the month. And that taught me the value of money, value of saving, and value of, how you can adjust your life according to your resources. And that is one. And another thing, when it comes to learning from your failure or learning from your experience, was that uh, um, sometime in the year 2010, I was on study leave. I was doing MBA from Pune University. And I was a very physically fit person. Every day used to go for a run and, happy-go-lucky. And people, generally, people said very nice things about you. But I suffered a brain stroke. And it was like a shock for everybody, even including me. So because what happened? So when I was treated by my neurologist, they did a EEG scan and they said there's a spike in your EEG, and they could not figure out the reason. So then they said it could be because of stress. So, but I said, what stress? You don't have any kind of stress. But I said it may not be immediate. It is something which has built up over a period of time. And then I realized that during those initial years, initial few months of my MBA, and so we had a particular way because we were about 7, 8 army officers who were doing this MBA course along with youngsters who had just come from college. So we were being looked upon as role models there. And I remember in the induction, the director of the institute said that I'm happy to see the parents of so many students who are here to attend this induction program. So after the speech, we went to, sir, we are not parents of students, but we are students ourselves. So it was like quite a funny experience for everybody. And even in the classes also, they used to address as sirs and our professors and teachers, and we used to address them as sir. Though, and so one thing which was there in the back of my mind was that I have to ensure that I score decent marks in my exams. And my
Mm-hmm.
son was that time in 11th, 12th,
Oh,
and that was a very crucial thing for him. So now, on one hand, if I'm telling my son to study, I have to show by my own example. So as
yes.
a result, I realized that unknowingly, unwittingly, I was working much harder than I should have done, and
Mm-hmm.
that created the kind of pressure on maybe everything. So it impacted my health. And then I
Mm-hmm.
was told that for the next 1 year you can't drive. You cannot take any risk. You can't go to alone anywhere alone. You have to be escorted. And so I took it as a challenge. And so after taking due precaution initially and all medication and everything, after 2 years, I started driving on my own. I became independent because I got posted out to a place where I was alone. My family could not join me, so I was managing on my own. So as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. So this is the classic example wherein you were forced due to circumstances to take certain actions to be independent on your own, and also you have that fighting spirit to come back to life as normal. You don't say take refuge of your health related issues that because of this I cannot do anything. or now I need a protection. I need a thing. This is again. I realize now. I realize that after we went through this transformer ourselves, why this happened because of my personality, because of certain things as we call the baselines and the coding which our brain is used to.
Mhm.
And this I have also included in my book. And another thing which I have also included, mentioned in my book, is about the story of these sportsmen. Like,
Mhm.
for example, if you see, talk about Sachin Tendulkar, he's the best batsman in the world. But how did he reach there? Because of his determination, because of his hard work, because of his practice,
Yes.
and the way he used to practice. Nobody else. Today, we have Virat Kohli, for example. He's
Mhm.
one of the top batsmen in the world.
Mhm.
And similarly, if you see other sports, we have you have the latest example of Neeraj Chopra, who
Mhm.
got two gold medal and two medals in Olympics, one back to back. And
Mhm.
you have Djokovic and Federer in tennis. So we have so many examples in the live world who we see that due to Djokovic underwent a knee surgery and could not participate further in French Open. And he
Mhm.
went to participate in Olympics and win the gold medal
Mhm.
in tennis
Mhm.
within a period of 1 month.
Mhm.
So that is the kind of inner motivation which can make you do the unthinkable, which we ourselves also at times don't believe we are capable of.
Yeah, so Colonel rightly said, from all the failures, then what life has shown you, you have learned so much, and that's what is all in your book, Fearful to Fearless. So that's really incredible. Now, in Arfine's community, we all talk about mind hacking. So I happened to
Yeah.
put out a post regarding mind hacking, and a lot of people came back to me asking, what do you mean by you are a mind hacker? So I said, I show you a mirror where you are, what are your
Yes.
capabilities, and I can prove that you can be there if you take the right corrective steps, if you change the pattern, if you continue working with me for next month, all right, next couple of
Absolutely.
months. So just for the audience, I just want you to explain a bit regarding what is the concept of mind hacking according to you, and how people can apply it to achieve personal and professional growth.
So, Jyoti, before I talk about mind hacking, let's talk about hacking itself. So, hacking, otherwise in the IT world, is taken as a negative term, like your website has been hacked, where your code has been hacked. So, but there's also a term called ethical hacking.
Mhm.
And wherein if in a company, if you have a system and processes, so ethical hackers, what they do is they'll go into the code and find out what are the loopholes
Mhm.
in that system, and then they will help you take corrective action to plug those loopholes so that you are not actually hacked by the real hackers, like
Mhm.
which has happened that especially in the government offices, so many times government railway network has been hacked, your
Mhm.
government website has been hacked, information has been leaked. So in order to plug all these things, the hackers are the ones who uh, find out the loopholes. The real hackers will exploit them to their advantage,
Mhm.
and the ethical hackers will help you plug those loopholes so that you are not adversely affected by the effects of hacking. Now, when it comes to mind hacking, we are also doing something similar. We are doing ethical hacking, wherein
Mhm.
when we are working with a client, we go into their brain, in their mind, and we explore
Mhm.
how their brain is coded.
Mhm.
We find the coding of the system of the brain, and then we help them find out the loopholes which, because of which, they are not able to do certain things which they want to do, or they are failing again and again, or they are not able to reach their optimum level of expertise in whatever they are doing. And
Mhm.
once we have identified those loopholes, then we will say, sit down and work with them and help them plug those loopholes and make them foolproof, so that then they can take corrective steps to through their mind to become successful in whatever they are doing in their life. So as
Okay.
you remember, talk about our inner DNA. We also talk about your power coding. So
Mm-hmm.
your negative codes are converted into your power codes. Your inner DNA is the thing how your entire thing is coding has been done, and what can we do to correct that coding if it
Mm-hmm.
is defective or if there are any loopholes. And
Mm-hmm.
thereafter, then we help them to chart a outcome plan and their personal success blueprint so that then they can take care of everything. They can make it and even any biggest of obstacle cannot prevent them from becoming successful at whatever they have decided to do.
Yeah.
So as a mind hacker, basically what we are doing is we are entering into the person's mind and taking him or her also inside to
Mm-hmm.
show them their vast potential which is there, which they are either not realizing or which they are not accepting, even though they know that it is there for
Mm-hmm.
whatever reason, because of their beliefs, limiting beliefs. People talk about limiting beliefs. People talk about your values and many other such things. So we that is what we do as mind hackers.
So very beautifully explained, Colonel. This is a jargon in coaching industry, mind hacking, and
Yeah,
very beautiful explained to someone who is outside of this industry. And correctly highlighted by you, a lot of people, they don't know what is the reason for them not growing, what is the reason for
absolutely,
them becoming fearful every other situation. If there is a change, if there is a change, there is a fear. So these are some things that 80% of the people face, but acknowledging and then addressing makes a lot of sense, and that's
absolutely.
where the coaches comes into picture. Now I would like to ask you, since you are so energetic, so hyper positive, I just want to know what are the practices or habits do you recommend for people to maintain and be in that positive state of mind.
So Jyoti, like I have also learned this through initially hit and trial, and then thereafter once I became a coach through going through my own under transformation. One is that one should never underestimate yourself. Because of the fear of what people will say or what will happen or because many times we stop ourselves from doing if something goes wrong then what. So instead of asking us what if something goes wrong, if we say oh, if everything goes right then what will happen.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe even our thought patterns or the language that we use,
Mm-hmm.
instead of questioning and doubting everything, if we start looking, or instead of looking at problems only, if we start looking at opportunities and solutions,
Mm-hmm.
it will make a lot of difference. And here I would share something which we learned in the army, that we used to start with the premise that every problem has minimum three solutions.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Minimum three solutions.
Mm-hmm.
And now, so when we know that every problem has a solution, so we are looking for solution. But what happens generally is that when people look at problem, but their people are not ready to look at the solution. They'll also, if you ask them also, they'll keep on adding this is wrong, this is wrong. And another thing is that we always keep the other people we blame others for our problem.
Mm-hmm.
We blame other people of problems instead of looking inwards. And here, if you remember in our coaching, what we are working is we are first working on our inner world. That is why
Mm-hmm.
we are talking about mind hacking. And
Mm-hmm.
once we have been able to conquer our inner world, then it is very easy for us to face and conquer the outer world or the external world, external challenges that we face in life. And
Yeah.
other thing is that challenges will come into your life irrespective of wherever you are, how successful you are or unsuccessful you are. Problems will keep on occurring.
Mm-hmm.
And but if we have that mindset, if we have that we call abundance mindset or the growth mindset people talk about, then we will be able to find solutions and we'll be able to overcome them.
Much
But
faster.
if we have that scarcity mindset, then we will not be able to move forward. We'll always keep on worrying, and we die of worries only.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so Colonel, I got just reminded of a famous saying that Sandeep Bindra says. ये भी हम सोचेंगे कि लोग क्या सोचेंगे तो फिर लोग क्या सोचेंगे. So let people
Absolutely.
what they can, what they want. No one can stop. And there is a saying by I think. I'm not sure. Abraham Lincoln, if you want to please everyone, better sell ice creams. So we are not
Yeah.
here to please or anyone, so just be yourself and behave the way it should be. Now, one question that I would like you to share with people, the advice is, what advice would you give to someone who feels stuck in their career and personal life and is struggling to move forward but is not finding the way?
So, Jyoti, here I would quote our mentor, Arsing Khan, that coaches never give advices. So, I will not give you advice, but yes, I can help people and empower themselves. So, if somebody is stuck, if you are feeling stuck, then best thing is they to seek help. If you're
Mm-hmm.
not able to find the solution from inside, then it is best to go to experts. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're not good in finances, you'll go to a chartered accountant to file your income tax return, or you'll go to financial analyst or a wealth manager to invest. Similarly, when it comes to your health, you go to a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
If you break a bone, you'll go to an orthopedic surgeon. You'll not go to a physician.
Mm-hmm.
There are people there, and people have also realized the importance of focusing on mental health, because earlier it was only on physical health. People were used to show their biceps and triceps and abs to all that physically. If they are so good looking, but internally everything is
Correct.
in
Mm-hmm.
chaos. So now we have realized the importance, especially after COVID. We have seen the way, the kind of challenges everybody faced, and you and I also faced. That if something has to go wrong, it will go wrong. If something has to go right, it will go right. But you have to first believe in yourself. You have to look for solutions. You have to change your mindset. And if you are not able to do it yourself, then take external help of people like you and I. And one more thing I realized was that in today's world, the time is the most valuable currency. So
Mm-hmm.
we should not only value other people's time, we should also respect our own time.
Mm-hmm.
In a day, we have got 24 hours, and out of those 24 hours, if we spend 8 hours for sleep, you still have got about 16 hours available to you, where in that 16 hours, you can do a lot if you
Mm-hmm.
want to, and you can do nothing if you don't want to. And
Correct.
many a time, if we take account of our time, I learned this from one of my mentor, Brigadier Sushil Basin, who is also known as the Time Brigadier. He said,
Mm-hmm.
if I deposit 10,860 rupees every day in your account at midnight, and I tell you that by next midnight, you have to use the entire money. If you do not, then it will not be yours.
Mm-hmm.
So what will you do?
Mm-hmm. You will use
What will
every
you do?
dime. You will use
Yeah, you
every
will
dime that is.
every penny of there. So now 10,860 is the number of seconds available to you in a day
Mm-hmm.
in terms of time. But
Mm-hmm.
do we really use every second of our life? No, we don't.
Oh,
We waste so
correct.
much of time in our life. So if we take a time check of the daily activities which we are doing, we'll realize that every day we are all, letting go of very important 2 to 3 hours which are
Mm-hmm.
unutilized, and
Mm-hmm.
which can be utilized to when people say I don't have time. We have time, but we don't need to manage time. We have to create more time to do things which we want to do in
Correct.
addition to our work. And this is how we can do it. So that this is another thing which we can think about and work on. And of course, the best thing is to seek help from experts if you are not able to find a solution yourself, and face your challenges and find the solutions.
Correct. Colonel very nicely said about the timing logic that if you have this much time. I was not introduced to Brigadier Bhasin, Sushil Bhasin at that point in time, but I created this video 3 years back, and that is still there on my
Wow.
YouTube channel. So I am a strong believer of that. And also, when you said that you have to understand what are the patterns, what are the things that is stopping you. So there is a saying that says happiness, you don't complete a goal or achieve a goal or achieve something, that's when you become happy. You at that point in time you will crave for what next, what next. So
Hmm.
it is not your goals or your achievements that will make you happy, it is your happiness that will help you achieve those goals. So
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
best thing is to be in that state of mind, and definitely, as you said, seek help. It is something that whatever you have learned so far, it has taken you till now, right, at this
Hmm.
level. But if you want to uplift yourself at a level, definitely don't be in that zone that I am Superman and I know everything. Every CEOs, CFOs, even the top notch of an organization, they have someone to push themselves forward, and that's when coaches comes into picture. So just believe and start the journey. So Colonel, having said that, if someone wants to start the journey with you towards inner transformation and mindset shift today, what is the way to connect with you?
So they have to just simply call me or reach out to me. I am available on LinkedIn and all the social media platform, and I'm sure you would be sharing the links to them. And one more
Mhm.
thing which I comes to my mind again by which a mentor always used to say, Mr. Arfin Khan, that just think what can I do differently from what I did yesterday
Mhm.
to
Right.
overcome what I have, the challenge that I am facing. So, what can I do differently? How can I do make my life even better than what
Mhm.
it was yesterday? So, the
Mhm.
focus should be today, not on the past, not too much on the future. So the focus, like I have started doing this is what can I do today to make my today better than yesterday, and also prepare to make my tomorrow better than today. If
Mhm.
we ask ourselves continuously these questions in whatever we are doing, we will be able to find solutions. And so instead of we have to challenge ourselves and not get into that comfort zone, as we have people say. We have to get out of the comfort zone and take action, concrete action to achieve our goals and outcomes that we have set for. So that is another thing where we can do. And of course, if somebody wants to connect with us, they can reach out to us, and we will show them the way
Mhm.
how to become incredible and how to take charge of their life if they are not able to do it themselves.
Correct. And Colonel, that you just gave a very beautiful example of setting up a calendar. What are you about to do and what all you did in the day? You know, what I have followed always is start of the day. If you have a habit of maintaining a calendar for a week, right? On a Sunday, sit with yourself and start counting every hour. So there will
Yeah,
be, there will be 15 to 16 hours that is already in the calendar. There will be deviations initially. Initial 15 days,
absolutely,
you will find struggle. But it is said that if you will not create your calendar, someone else will hire you to work for them, right? So it is
absolutely,
better to take charge of your life rather than giving the power to someone else. Because I am in the process of reading the book, The Mountain is You. And that's an
Mm.
incredible book which shows your inner power. Who are you inside? So, thank you, Colonel Aditya. And I think with so much immense experience that you have from army to coaching, one session is too short for us. But before I continue, I just want to thank you for your incredible journey with us since the time I know you. Your experiences whenever we met in Pune or in Mumbai, it was really amazing, and I learned a lot from your experiences and your thought process, how the failure can not define a person. For our viewers, don't forget to check out Colonel's book, which is Fearful to Fearless, for more in-depth guidance on conquering your fears and achieving a fearless mindset. And Colonel, before I end up the conversation just for today, and I'm sure I'm going to invite you in my another session to get more insights. So, any parting words that you would like to share with the audience?
So, Jyoti, one thing which I learned, or one saying which I learned when I was in college, and which I still believe, is that a tough time never lasts, tough people always do.
Wow.
And secondly, change is the only constant. So things will keep on changing, and as long as you have that mental flexibility, if you have that open mind, ready to accept change, then nothing can stop you.
Wow, that was really awesome, Colonel Aditya. And I must say, this is my comeback, and I came back with an awesome start. So, thank you so much for
Thank you,
being
Jyoti. Thank you very much.
Yes, and always supporting me whenever I call you or I seek assistance. So, in case any one of you wants to connect with Colonel Aditya, I will provide the details in the description and the details of his book as well. If you want, you can go ahead, read the book, and be fearless. So, thank you, Colonel Aditya, once again for joining the
Thank you,
session.
Jyoti, and thank you for giving me a chance to come on your show, and wish you all the very best. And looking forward for more of these
Wow.
opportunities from you, and impacting people's life. Thank you very much, and have a great
Thank you
day.
so much. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.